So we're going to say right off the top, spoilers. Spoilers. We are talking about Vikings. Season 2 has just ended. And Dylan and I have had lots of discussion from season 1 to 2. So now we just feel like sharing our thoughts with you. It's been a while since we did a video and just like put our opinions out there. So we figured after we watched last night's season finale.
It wasn't last night.
Well, for us it was last night. It wasn't the season finale last night. For us, we watched it last night.
For those of you slow people, you should probably go watch it as soon as you can.
Okay, so we've warned you enough. Now we're jumping in to our discussion about Vikings.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Wow, all I have to say is it was a double twist.
Double twist. Double cross.
Double cross. You did not see coming. Very well done. The actors are extraordinary. It's and for those of you who don't know as well, it's filmed in Canada and in Ireland, which is kind of cool because you get to see a lot of the East Coast and a lot of it's remained unchanged, which is lovely to see. So season 1 basically started off with Ragnar having a vision of what the Viking people could do more of.
What they did.
With their lives. And it was an interesting progression to see him change from, just a farmer.
He was a pioneer, and then
Well, he still is a pioneer.
he started to move up a bit, and he started to see what would happen if you started to move up in the world, that other doors became opened.
He also believes he's descendant from Odin, which also gives him a lot of the gusto and the perseverance he has, because if you're blessed to be one of Odin's descendants, then as far as he's concerned, you should be doing good in the world.
I would say cleaving your way through about a dozen Europeans is doing pretty good for yourself.
My biggest issue, well, Dylan knows about that. Lagertha and Ragnar's relationship dissolving. That was one of the most devastating things to me. And I also think
cried.
I didn't cry. I was very upset. I'm not gonna lie, I was very upset. The other thing I really do like about this series is you have women that are shown to be very strong, individuals. Independent women that have a right to be who they are. They are shoulder to shoulder in battle with men, and they are warriors in their own rights. But
what happened, world?
Exactly. That's all I have to say. What happened? They went a little bit backwards from the Vikings. But then to say that, there's also the other level that if you happen to be a woman that is captured, you automatically become a slave and you are lower than dirt. So they don't care what happens to you. But going back to the original characters and the way they're written, and even in that time period, women were equals. And it's very breathtaking to see a show where you have strong female characters that women want to see.
She probably killed about the same amount of people as the male characters.
For sure.
Especially in that the season finale of season 2, she killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of killing.
A lot of killing. Well, it's Vikings. Again, gonna be lots of killing, lots of blood. Other than that, I mean, the writing is phenomenal. The characters are very rich.
They balance the character development, except for that one blonde guy, who is like the only surviving member of the trio that was formed. Toft something.
We're terrible with names. He gets it for me.
No, we're terrible with his name because we don't know anything about him. We know he's the guy with the bow and arrow, that's it. But they equally balance character development with like the violence and stuff that people want to see. So you have those episodes where it's strictly devoted to, well, the violence fans want to see this, so we'll do an episode of that, and then we'll sprinkle in some violence, but it'll be primarily a character development episode.
Yeah, it completely is. It's very well done. Even for me at first, when I started watching season 1, I wasn't sure where this show was going. It seemed like it was kind of male-dominated, which we all know a lot of the TV series and movies are. I was kind of like, well, it looks interesting. Maybe at some point I'll pick this up again. When Dylan finished season 1, he said, I should watch it. So I decided to give it another chance, and by the third episode, I was definitely hooked, and you could see that they were definitely making sure the main female characters were very much integrated into what was happening, as well as with the male characters. But I mean, on top of that, there's some giant men that are in there. I mean, they're they're giants. The young boy who is...
he was in Hunger Games. He was the other blonde.
We're so good with names, eh?
Those of you who have seen the Hunger Games.
Bjorn, he's the one who picked up after the younger Bjorn, because then they progressed to 4 years later. Spitting image. I mean, if you had those two people side by side, you would not question that the young actor who played Bjorn definitely grew into
the older Bjorn. I refuse to believe that in 4 years he grew to like 7 foot tall.
Well, apparently he's blessed too by the gods. So take it for what it's worth. There's a lot of mythology, which is pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the fact when they bring in Athelstan, who is the monk that Ragnar decided to keep kind of in the beginning as a pet, but you could also see he wanted to learn from him. That was fascinating too, because again, it shows you how Ragnar is thinking far beyond his little village. He wants to see the world, and he wants to see what the world can offer his people.
It's really starting to show how the European countries started to be formed, because the Vikings were the original knights. They were simply just, Northmen who converted to Christianity. So I think Ragnar's going along that lines, because he's getting a bit too close to...
The one god?
Yeah, the one god.
It's fascinating. I mean, we can nerd out about this stuff. I mean, if you like history, it's all right there. You love mythology, it's there. You like fighting, blood and gore, it's all right there. Rich characters, awesome storylines, it's all there. I think it's one of those shows that kind of came out of nowhere, where a lot of people weren't sure what was happening, and by season 2, I mean, it's got a really strong following right now.
It looked very Game of Thrones-ish.
It did I think it's why I was turned off. You always have to come back to Game of Thrones.
No, I'm just saying in the way that they present it, where they have the mix of everything in it, but it's a medieval style.
But it's definitely far more tailored and controlled, and the storylines make sense. And there's not 100,000 characters that are added on in every episode. So then you're confused and you don't know what the hell's happening.
And there's no scummy little king. But
well, I don't know. Egbert's kind of scummy. I mean, you know what? Truth be told, the English kings are kind of bastards.
He's the stereotype British villain in this right now. He is the British villain.
Well, they're kind of bastards. And, that's a lot of our heritage. Funny note, speaking of Vikings...
No,
you can get into so many things. People can trace back their lineage to Viking time. And like I said, it's just there's so much into it, and yeah, it's not Game of Thrones. If you're looking for something, if you like Game of Thrones and you like the different, obviously the time period, I think you will enjoy Vikings, but it's not in any way, shape, or form Game of Thrones.
We're gonna stop talking about that now.
Yeah. Season 2 was definitely a lot more. Go ahead.
They upped their game.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of cringeworthy episodes for sure.
Oh, the eagle one was.
The eagle. The
eagle one was just horrifying.
I enjoyed watching Athelstan get crucified.
No, I didn't enjoy that either. That was horrifying too. It was definitely a lot more violence in. One-on-one violence in season 2, but then there was also a lot of
groups,
dealings
wars
under the tables and backstabbing, and it was all basically leading up to see that you can see that Ragnar is a true leader, and a true leader does inspire faithfulness in their followers. By the end of season 2, it showed it.
Can we talk about Floki? How that great deception throughout the entire season 2.
We love Loki.
Where they're building up to this great hatred of Ragnar between Floki and Ragnar, but
he's calling him Floki because
that's his name. They have an F in front of it.
Okay.
They clearly distinguish that.
Sorry, I always thought it was just.
That's a video for a different day. But they had this it seemed like it came out of nowhere where Floki decided to despise Ragnar because Floki helped Ragnar get to where he was, and he was getting no recognition. And it got to the point where he made an alliance with the king, who secretly wanted to have Ragnar killed because Ragnar's fame was getting...
And that was all he wanted, to have Ragnar killed, basically because Ragnar was smarter, had more faithful followers, his people loved him, and he's a visionary, and that's basically why the king wanted him gone, was that he felt threatened that at some point Loki was going to take his throne. Ragnar. I don't see Ragnar aspiring to that, because a lot of the season was him focusing on trying to get land in England where his people could flourish. I don't think he really has aspirations of being this huge leader, but it seems to always fall in his lap.
But
that he has to kind of champion the cause after that.
That season 2 finale just kind of...
Season 2 finale was one of the best finales I have seen in the history of TV shows that I've watched.
More spoilers coming up.
Yeah. As we told you in the beginning, it's like the whole thing spoilers. So if you're still watching and you're like, what the hell? You're still watching. Your problem. Go on.
So that whole grand hatred, it finally came to fruit when King Horik wanted Floki to kill someone to prove his trust. So naturally we thought he was going to choose Rollo, who was Ragnar's brother, currently incapacitated due to getting trampled on by a horse, but he's still alive. Good for him, by the way.
Yeah, because that's easy to do back then, heal properly.
But the point is, he was bedridden, and I could see where they were going with that, where if they did kill Rollo off, it would look very much like a plausible character death. But instead, he decided to go for that blonde guy who, I don't remember the name, the archer guy.
Sure it's
Tolf something.
Tolston. I think it's Tolston.
He's blonde, and yes, but
you'll know.
They all have beards. But so he poisons him, or poisons him.
What you think is him poisoning him.
And he threatened a small child, which was pretty great.
It was kind of funny.
Those Vikings having the best threats. But as it went on, King Horik said that he wanted to kill Ragnar, kill
his
Lagertha,
children,
kill everyone associated with Ragnar, basically, and their children. And then he convinced Siggy, who was the wife of the former Earl, who I guess is kind of...
I guess she's kind of Rollo's girlfriend.
Wife thing.
No, they're not wives. I think it's just girlfriend,
Maybe.
Kind of.
She whipped him into shape in the beginning of the season, too, that's for sure. But you would... And because they had a secret alliance going as well, where King Horik would promote Siggy to back where she was in season 1.
But then it's like, now you got to come back to, was she playing Horik the whole time? Because maybe in the beginning she believed he was going to do that, but again, like I said, they write women, these characters are not stupid. So she eventually caught on, obviously, that he was using her for other things.
And it finally came to King Horik invading, thinking his whole plan would come to fruition, and he busts into the Great Hall. And
they're waiting for him.
And lo and behold, the guy sitting there is not Ragnar, no, but the blonde guy who he thought Floki had poisoned. And then from basically every door in the Great Hall, everybody comes out and is like, surprise! And then Floki comes out, and I was just like, oh my god, it's like the biggest double cross I ever saw coming.
It was the most fantastic thing. Because at one point, Horik wanted Floki to kill Bjorn. And if you watch the show, you know that in the beginning, Bjorn was kind of fascinated with Floki, and then they became friends, and Floki loves him. They're all family. That's the whole thing. They're all family. They all love each other. They all look out for each other. They're a clan. And this guy thought there was a crack in it, and he figured he could exploit it. And
but was there ever a crack?
There wasn't. They were just really smart.
Was it just all an elaborate scheme?
It was all an elaborate scheme. It was all a very elaborate scheme. Like I said, it's one of the best things I've seen in television thus far.
We genuinely thought Floki wanted Ragnar dead.
Yeah. We knew something was going down when he sent Helga away with the baby. Because she came to the village to have him see their daughter and name her. And then he's like, get out of here! So we knew something was going down then.
That wasn't typical Loki.
No.
I'm crazy. No, that was like, no, you gotta get out of here, but I can't tell you
It was
what.
like he was in fear. It wasn't the whole, like, looking at the sky and talking to the gods, Loki.
It's not like he's sitting there on his mushrooms.
Yeah, no. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic series. Won't be back until 2015, so I'm a little...
I am fully expecting them to branch off into different parts of the world. I want to see them...
I would love to see them explore.
I would love to see
that's
them
what they did.
go to Asia.
Yeah, that's what the
anywhere.
Vikings did. They explored the world, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the characters grow and the new people they meet and the alliances they make. It's gonna be fantastic.
I want to see Rollo get back up.
Yeah, I want to see Rollo too get back up.
I want to
Guy's
see
like
him.
7 feet tall.
Oh, he jumped over like an entire group of people and like murdered everyone with a giant axe.
Even broken Rollo still managed to kill 2 people. So what does that tell you?
And then crawl back to his bed.
And then managed to crawl back to bed. So,
after crawling to get the axe, which he needed to murder those 2 people, which probably took him a fair amount of time anyway.
So yeah, we just wanted to vent our love for Vikings. And share it with you all, and I hope you enjoyed it. Quick thing before we go. What movies are we looking forward to? Kicking off the summer season with Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, I'm personally looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy. Other than that, I don't see anything.
You don't see anything better than that?
No, I don't.
You don't see anything better than Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
Honestly?
See, it's really going to be the only G-based movie.
So I guess you forgot that Godzilla's coming out.
I was leading up to that, and you ruined it.
Well, I've been waiting. It feels like 100 years for a new Godzilla movie, but
It hasn't been 100
it
years.
feels like it.
It's
I just feel like 100 years old. That's all.
Just because you haven't paid attention to
I'm looking forward to Maleficent. I have to say that looks like a very interesting take. Anything that's a weird, twisted take on some of the classic fairy tales, I'm looking forward to.
I'm following Avengers 2, like a giant eye.
Yeah. And I am looking forward to X-Men, Days of Futures Past. It looks interesting.
It's got Peter Dinklage.
It's got Hugh Jackman. It's enough said.
Well, it's got Patrick Stewart too.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
And Ian McKellen.
And Hugh Jackman.
No, I'm pretty sure Ian McKellen wins. He's a knight.
It's a close.
He's a knight.
Ian McKellen's pretty freaking awesome. They're pretty neck and neck.
That build up though to the Thanos movie, it's getting pretty annoying.
Yeah, there's that's the only thing it's like
they're dropping so many names, dropping so many plot points. You're like, just shut up and announce it already.
So that'll be a video for another day with Dylan ranting about Marvel Universe and how they're correcting everybody, and each movie's just a commercial for the next one to come. And on that note, everybody have an awesome day, and hopefully it won't take us another year before we do another video. Maybe Dylan will rant soon about Marvel next week.
I'll have to perform a nice little blood sacrifice for the next movie.
Okay, we're out.
All right, bye.
Bye.